I came out this night and I noticed that the smaller knife fish is behaving a little bit off. I'm talking about swimming and positioning. It swims around in the open too much. And when it came closer, I saw that it's sporting a huge bite mark on its front end. So it looks like its head and a good part of its shoulders and back have gone into someone's mouth, and the size of that bite pretty much tells me only whales can do that. I don't know why he would have done that. This is the bigger one, that's the bigger knife that's doing okay. Both of them feature small bites on themselves every now and then, but nothing to worry about. But this bite on this smaller knife fish, we call them a J knife and a K knife. The J knife was donated or were rescued from Jordan about 6 years ago, maybe more, maybe 8 years ago. And K knife came from Cathay a year or two prior to that. Anyhow, that bite size on the smaller, on the J knife, that's the first that concerns me. Those of you who watch our channel and seen many videos of whales before, of this whale, of the whales, our Mr. Wels before, you probably know that the knives and Mr. Wels have been very good buddies for the last 3-4 years. They've pretty much been in this tank together for all this time. The knives use Mr. Wels for furniture. They hide around him, especially when he lays around under that waterfall over there. They hide right next to him, or sort of hang around right next to him. So there've never been any problems. So this is the first time I see some kind of a problem. About 2 months ago I reported that whales started all of a sudden eating 10 times more than it's usual, and it was actually behind biting the pieces of fins from the tails of the koi. Took a while to figure out who it was, and then I understood it was Mr. Wels. But then he stopped being, I started feeding him everything, all he can eat, which was again like 5 to 10 mullet at a time versus 1 or 2 weekly mullet. And he stopped bothering koi or anybody else. But then he went back to his normal couple of mullet, 6 to 8 inches mullet a week, which is very little for a fish of his size, but he's always been like that. And this is what others observe too. Other whales keepers report that they don't eat much. Big whales in the wild, or adult whales of 10-20 years old, Russ, known as the Wednesday 13 on Monster Fish Keepers, I remember him describing that such whales eat about a pound and a half of food a week, which is not much for a 100-pound fish. Our fish is not that big, of course, at all yet, and as I said, he went back to his usual, a couple of mullet a week. But it seems like lately he might be picking up again. Yesterday I gave him a mullet, and I don't know why he's... I think last week I gave him 3 mullet instead of his usual 1 or 2. I usually bring a lot more, of course. I mean, I want to give him as much as he wants, but he takes 1 and never comes back. I call him over, I wait for him, he doesn't come back. So that's what's been happening for about a month after his pigging out time, which also lasted, I want to say 2 or 3 weeks. So this is a long way of saying that I think Wels might be getting his appetite back, and that's why he might have bitten the K knife. I'm sorry, the J knife, the smaller one. They're both females. You can see the bite marks on him, and it doesn't look that horrible, so I didn't catch it right away because it's a little dark and it's a little far away from us. But he's swimming funny in a sort of a little bit of discombobulated fashion, just as if it's a little bit slightly out of its presence of mind. So I'm thinking whether to take him out. I'm gonna feed Wels tonight again, so I'll probably leave the night in there. If it's still doing poorly tomorrow, I'll take it out. But again, this is out of the blue. The knives and the Wels catfish have been in this tank, 25,000 gallon tank, for 4 years. Never had any problems like this before. The big knife still okay. She's much bigger, probably by weight, maybe 30% bigger, and maybe has about 3 inches longer in length, maybe even more. As you can see, I mean, you can hardly see them there, but they're both like hanging under the waterfall. This is their most favorite spot. The bigger knife behaves naturally, swims strong, keeps its balance very well, checks out the bottom, the creases for any food, even though I fed him very heavily yesterday, this whole tank. But the small knife is kind of swims around unbalanced a little, kind of bobbles around a little bit. Definitely has been affected by this bite. So that's our concerning report of the night. We'll let you know how this goes on, of course. We aim to be transparent, and we report problems as well as accomplishments. At least we try to and aim to be fair. This is the bigger knife again coming over. The K knife, we call her. The J knife is right under the waterfall. You can't see her very well behind the bubbles. Alright, thank you for watching, guys, as always.